Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. So I put this video out yesterday to my Patreons and members, and it has to do about insurance policies and what they are doing now, at least in the case of one of our community members, which is amending their policy to include a war clause. One of our Patreons stated that this is usually common practice. I've never heard of it, right? So I was like, well, this is common practice, then this video is not really going to be valuable to anyone. But then I started to think, I was like, well, you know, I've never heard of it. I'm 51 years old. Maybe I'm just naive. Maybe I'm just not very well educated. You can fill in the blanks. But if I haven't heard of it, maybe a lot of other people have not either. I'm going to leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and enjoy the video if you like. And before we start, I want to say thank you very much to the sponsor of this video, which is Genesis Gold Group. What do insurance companies know that we don't know as the citizenry of at least the United States? And before I forget to ask, if any of you out there have received notices or letters like this from your insurance companies, please forward it to me. I will not share any of your information. When I read to you this notice that one of our community members got, by the way, it's for a business that this person owns, okay? So it's not like for their home or their car, but it's for their business. But still, it leads me to think that the insurance companies know something that we don't know. And I'm going to show you everything on the letter, but I'm going to black out anything whatsoever that would in any way point a finger to this gentleman's location or who he is. So take a look at this, because this is very disturbing, ladies and gentlemen. And I have to say that we need to pray. All right, we need to pray that there is a better outcome in what's going on geopolitically around the world than war, right? Than a kinetic war, or a war that would result in the deaths of many. Unfortunately, and I know I'm blabbing here, but it's my style. Unfortunately, I've been talking about this for a while, that it's inevitable, that it's a cycle that we are going through. And it's inevitable, and it is the birth pain that occurs before the birth of a new era. And just look at history, and that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I've often said that you need to be prepared, because it's going to be a lot tougher between now and the spring. Okay? Right now we are going through the winter portion of this human cycle. And before we can get to the spring portion, i.e. the first turning, it's going to get a lot tougher, and a lot of people will suffer. So that's why you need to be prepared. But enough of that. Let's take a look at this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read this verbatim. But if you hear me, if you hear that I get blanked out when I'm talking, that way I don't have to try to think of, oh, should I say this? Should I say that? I can just go ahead and edit it out. I'm just going to silence the portions that I can't say. But this letter here is from the group Mutual Insurance Company, right? And I'm not going to say where they're from, but as you can see here, I blacked out the name and the address of the person who received it, but I did leave the date in which they received it, which was April 24th of this year, 2023. And of course, the policy number is blacked out, but this is policyholder notice. Insurance companies know usually a lot more than what we, the citizenry, know. So what do they know about us going to war? This notice does not form a part of your insurance contract, meaning that this is just a notice, and that the insurance contract that they currently have still stands until its expiry date, right? No coverage is provided by this notice, nor can it be construed to replace any provisions of your current policy. If there is any conflict between this notice and the policy, the provisions of the policy shall prevail, meaning that the policy that they currently have, that they've already paid their premium for, is number one. All right, and that this notice is just telling them something that's going to be added on to their next policy, should they want to go ahead and purchase their policy at the end of the expiration date of this current policy. I hope that makes sense. Here they say, they warn them, please read your policy, including the endorsements attached to your policy. This notice provides information concerning the following new endorsement. So this is going to be a new endorsement, all right, that they're giving you a heads up on for your new policy after your old one expires on the 5th of July, all right? Or the renewal policy is on the 5th of July, which means that the old one would expire on the 4th of July of this year, 2023. War and cyber war exclusion. All right, ladies and gentlemen, war and cyber war exclusion. The endorsement adds an exclusion for any claim for any loss, damage, cost, or expense. A, directly or indirectly caused by resulting from or in connection with any war, regardless of any other cause or event contributing concurrently or in any other sequence to the loss. Which means, all right, I'm going to put it in blunt terms, which means that if this person's business gets hit by a mortar shell, it's not covered. Which means that if this person's business suffers a loss because of a cyber attack, it's not covered because it would be considered an act of war. B, directly or indirectly caused by, or resulting from, or in connection with any action taken by a government authority to hinder, control, prevent, suppress, or defend against any war. So if a government authority, for example, let's not talk about his business. Let's say that you own a bridge, right? And you receive a toll for that bridge. So you're making money every time people use that bridge because you provided the service of maintaining the bridge and building it, right? So let's say that the government says, hey, we need to blow up that bridge so we don't let the enemy come through. Guess what? It's not covered, right? That's just a very simple way of explaining it. That if the government for some reason has to sacrifice your structure, your business, your whatever it is, that you're not covered for that under this new insurance policy effective the 5th of July. Now, this is how I'm understanding this, ladies and gentlemen. If we have any insurance professionals out there, please send me an email if I get any of this wrong, and then I can correct it in a future video. And then it says C, resulting from or in connection with any cyber war. All right. If you have any questions, please consult your independent insurance agent. And then they say, thank you so much for entrusting your business with this insurance company. It is our continued goal to provide you with the best coverage and claims service in the industry. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again, my question is, what do insurance companies know that we don't know? I'm not a financial advisor, but the folks at Genesis Gold Group specialize in helping those who want to diversify their excess wealth by converting their fiat currency retirement plans into a plan that is backed by real money. So if you're in a position where you are wondering what you can do in order to diversify or insulate your wealth against what I like to call the inferno of inflation, give Genesis Gold Group a call and they can provide you with the information that you need in order to make an educated decision. Why are they getting ready as if there is going to be a war without doubt? Or are they just being cautious, right? Are they just being cautious? Again, I'll leave it at that. Leave it in the comments what you think is going on with this. This, to me, is, concerning, very concerning. Because when we see insurance companies who are in the business of making people whole for losses that they incurred on items that they obviously paid a premium to cover on, when they start saying, hey, maybe we're not going to cover this area because it floods too much. So there's not going to be any flood coverage in this area, right? Because it floods too much. But now they're saying, hey, we're not going to cover this if it, attains losses due to an act of war or due to the government having to act upon your business and destroy something because of war reasons or cyber war. So again, if you have any information on this, I would really love to do a follow-up on this to see if this is definitely not satire by any means, meaning that the person who sent me this, I've known this person for a long time, right? I've known this community member for a long time. and he wouldn't send something like this. He wouldn't go out of his way to try to do something like this as a joke or a prank. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, try to make this one as quick as I can, but you all know that I like to talk to you and I don't like to just read something out and put it out there. Have a great day. If you have not seen my second episode of Reversing Diabetes with Ketovore, I think it's episode 2. I did put that out earlier this morning. Every Tuesday is going to be Keto Tuesday, so I will be putting a new episode of my Reversing Diabetes with Ketovore up every Tuesday. So, and it's actually a lot of fun. So I hope that you enjoy that. All right. Other than that, have a great day. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.